Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Afi and I'm back again with another video. This is an intro just because I wanted to do this before the video starts. This video is a get ready with me. I'm going to be creating this look. I'm not really talking about the products that I'm using or anything like that, but I hope that you enjoy. Let me know if you want to know the products and all that stuff. I didn't do my hair, as you can see. I just left it in its twist because I'm not really going anywhere, so it was just doing my makeup for fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoy. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna be doing my makeup while I talk about how February was. And so of course I have my book here and I'm also looking at my mirror, which is here. So do not worry about that. But so February has just been one of those months, if I'm being honest. Um, I think I don't think I was ready for it. Seriously, like I really was not ready for this month, and then it happened and I was just like, okay, great, this is February and this is where it's at, and so yeah, it was just one of those months that just, I don't know, I really have no idea how to explain it, but I was feeling sad and exhausted and like, just going through it. I feel like I've mentioned this in another video, how I feel as if I had just been going through it for such a long time. And I don't know, it was just a weird month. And I feel like I was supposed to, if you watch my January recap, I talk about how like I feel like like in January I was struggling to get back to things, and so February I was trying to be more intentional, trying to be more like planning and following through with my plans and all that stuff. And then February came and I feel as if it was a bit slower than January went. Like, I don't know, usually January just moves so slowly, but this time for me I think February just like dragged on, like it dragged on for 500 years and it just never ended. And that could be because I was feeling a bit sad. It could be because as I've said so many other times, I was going through it, and so I just felt like it wasn't moving as fast as I wanted it to. Also, I guess I wasn't doing the things. I think the thing with 2021 is it's been a bit disappointing, but now I'm feeling so much better, if I'm being honest. But it's been a bit of like a disappointing, yeah, it's only been 2 months. I saw this friend's meme that Joy was saying. Joy was like, oh, this year has been so rough, and Phoebe goes, but it's only been 2 days or something like that. And it's the funniest thing because I think for me, I 100% like sort of not like, I wouldn't say agree. I think I have gone through that, just feeling like this year has gone on for so long and it doesn't make me happy, it just doesn't make me happy. Anyway, so yeah, February just began as it was. It's been moving slowly. I've been exhausted, feeling very overwhelmed by like school stuff. I think school has been so intense this past month, actually, especially. I feel like I've had an assignment due every single week since the month began. I have had like a workshop from church happening almost every week. I have had like just something, like there's always been something happening. And in January I talked about how I intended on resting, on having like one rest day, and it's been so difficult to factor that in February because of how busy life has been. And it's not even been busy like because I want it to be, it's just that's how life has ended up for me right now. Like stuff is just busy and it's like so much, and it's so much like I wasn't expecting it to be that busy. February is my birthday month, just in case you don't know. Also, I wanted to say, if you're new here and you don't know anything about me, in the description box at the bottom, I usually leave like a little sort of summary introduction of me. So, and it's very, very like summarize. Like there's so much more to me than that, but it's just a simple thing. But anyway, so my birthday was on 15th February, and I mentioned in another video that I was doing sort of like thank you messages to my friends and my family for just being there for me and all that stuff. And I remember starting the month off and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. But for those people who don't know me and you've never heard me mention this, I really like, emotions are just something that I struggle with so much. Like I can get angry, but then like you know, like deep depth emotions that just like is, you know, mad to me. So anyway, I did that, and I did the messages to my friends, and you know, it all worked out the way it did. I didn't end up writing to everybody that I intended to write it to, just because the first half of the month, actually for most of it, I was just feeling like too much. Like it was just too much, honestly. So if I ended up writing to you, you know, you're lucky. And if I didn't, I'm very, very sorry. It doesn't mean that you're not one of my close friends. It just means like life just got a bit intense, and I just lost the capacity to feel like that. I didn't lose the capacity, I just decided I just didn't want to feel anymore, you know. And it's not a good thing, it's just the way life ended up. So anyway, on my birthday, I sort of just like realized how much I am loved. And I think for most of the month, that's something that I had felt like I was lacking to feel, like just love. And on my birthday, I felt so much love, and I'm so grateful for it. I actually mentioned this in a video that's coming up next week, so watch out for that. But yeah, like I felt so much love from my friends and my family, and it was literally the best thing in the entire world, if I'm being honest. Like I have never been so happy, and it wasn't like happiness that, like, you know, I don't know, I think for so long I was feeling like, and of course there's so much stuff I'm not mentioning right now, because some things are not only my story to tell, and more than that, I don't want to paint anyone in a bad light, because like I don't want you to think I was just feeling bad for nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally just woke up one day and I decided to be sad forever, you know. There was just a bunch of stuff happening this month, and because of that I felt a lot like I was lacking in love. And just my friends and family on my birthday, that like I have never been so grateful in my entire life. Like I am so grateful, because that just sort of gave me like, it reminded me that I am loved even when I don't feel like I am. And usually when I'm struggling with something, I am like the last person to ever ask for help. Like I'm not the kind of person who's out here like saying, oh, you know, I need to talk this through and blah blah blah. I'm really not that kind of person. Like honestly, I don't even know if I've ever done that with any of my friends. And I genuinely love seeing my friends do that, because my friends do that. Like they're like, oh, I need to talk about this with me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm here for you. But like I struggle so much to be the same kind of person, you know, to be like, oh, you know, this is what I'm going through and blah blah blah. And you know, just my birthday was so nice, and I was so grateful, and it was just a good lesson to remember that like people love me even though I do not feel it, even though it just feels so, even though life feels so sad, like people still love me. And there are people who, and there's people who like, we don't talk every day, but they send me a birthday text. And you know, let me tell you how I knew I was going through it this year for my birthday is usually on my birthday I'll post like a picture and I will be like, guess whose birthday it is, it's my birthday, blah blah blah, like just feeling excitement. And I just remember not feeling excited at all. Like I was not excited for this year's birthday, which is crazy because this was my 21st birthday, right? So it was supposed to be a big deal, but I did not feel that excitement. And I'm not talking about this so that like anyone can feel bad for me or be like, oh, aha. It's just, this is my way of processing, because I think, and I was telling my friend actually just like yesterday, I was like, I've been so much in my head that like I need to find a way out, and I think this is my way out at this point. So anyway, moving on swiftly. And yeah, so the love was immense. I'm so grateful for all the friendships I have, for the new friends that I made like last year, and the old friends I've had since like I was a kid. It's so interesting because I don't have that many friends who have been my friends since we were children, but there's some who actually take the time to be like, to care, you know. And the thing is that I'm not even trying to shade anyone for not caring, because you know it's a two-way street. If I haven't made the effort, I really don't like expect you to make the effort, you know. But then when I see people making effort, then I'm just like my heart, I'm so happy, you know, like it makes me so happy. So anyway, that was my birthday, and that's basically what happened. Something that has actually gotten me through this month actually has been doing my Bible plans. Honestly, I mentioned this before, that I'm doing the Bible in 1 year. Bible plan? What? It's called the Bible in 1 year. It's a Bible plan. And it's on the YouVersion app. Highly recommend. I have a video about, I mean, I feel like I talk about different Bible plans all the time. So yeah, I'm doing the Bible in 1 year. And this February, we've been going through the story of Job, right? So we went through the entire book of Job. And when I say actually already I'm like behind, let's just be honest, I'm behind. So there are days that I didn't do it. I think there were days in January that I didn't manage to do it every day. I think I even mentioned that, like I want to be more intentional about doing that Bible plan, just because I think for me, like it gives me such good vibes, and when I don't do it, I feel just a bit sad. So I wanted to make February the month where like I do the most, you know, like I didn't want to just leave it just like that, you know. I wanted to make sure that like in February I do it almost every day. So yeah, using the Bible plan, we're doing the book of Job, and just reading his story was so interesting to me. And you know what is so interesting actually, is I'm realizing I don't think I've ever gone through the Bible the way I'm going through it now, just intentionally. And I'm not here to say that I've ever read the Bible from cover to cover, honestly speaking. That would be a lie if I said that. I would be lying 100% lying. But I think this time I'm doing it so much more like intentionally, that like it's I don't know, like I find myself feeling the emotions of the person at the time. And going through Job's story, reading about what he was going through, and reading about the things his friends were seeing, and then getting to the end of it, and him like actually coming out on the other side and prospering and all that stuff, gave me so much hope. Like, and I'm not trying to say that I'm in Job's position, honestly speaking. I feel like sometimes you can drop such hints. No. I'm not trying to say I'm in Job's position. I'm really not. But I'm just trying to say that, like, just seeing that story and seeing him going through it, and then still actually having his faith, I think that's one of the things that actually, you know, it's very easy when you're feeling low to sort of not forget your faith, but like to put it on hold or push it on pause or whatever, you know, just do something that is insane, sort of. And reading Job's story actually sort of made me remember to keep having faith, even when it's difficult, even when I don't want to have faith. I just need to keep having faith, because God is there for me. Like, God is there, you know, even when I feel like He's not, even when I feel like He's not working, like God is still there for me, you know. So that's what happened with Job. And reading his story and finishing it was just so fantastic to me. And then we started Exodus. So after Job, I mean, basically the arrangement of the book is different from. It's not like reading cover to cover. Usually it's a devotional, right? So they'll pull up a book, and it's 3 books at the same time. So currently we're doing Exodus. Um, oops. Currently we're doing Exodus, Matthew. We're actually finishing Matthew, Exodus, Matthew, and something. Oh, and Proverbs. So usually it's Proverbs or Psalms. So there's that. There's like Proverbs or Psalms, and then there's the other book, which is like now Job in February for most of it. And then after Job, and then after that there's like now Matthew that we're doing, and then after Job, and then the one that's usually like Job's story um has like 3 or 4 verses usually at the time. Like there's like 3 or 4 verses, not just one, and the rest are one verses. So the Job story was so good for me. Honestly, it gave me so much hope. It gave me so much life. I am so grateful that I actually got to read that story. I don't think I would have been able to read it the way I did in the devotional, because there's just some topics where they're like, there's people around you who will tell you things and they're wrong even when they seem like the most righteous. Like a lot of Job's friends were saying, oh, it's because you made this sin and you did this and you did that and blah blah blah, but it wasn't true that Job was going through his hardship because of those sins. Like his friends were sort of like judging him, even saying, oh, because you did this bad thing, then like God is punishing you or whatever. But it wasn't the truth of the matter at the time. And so just remembering that even though people can say what they want to say, and even though they seem like the holiest, they don't always have the full picture. And just knowing that like God has the full picture, and God is the only one who's gonna have the full picture. Most times human beings try to understand what's happening, they try to fill in the blanks, they try to just do all this stuff to make themselves understand what's happening, but you don't always understand what's happening. Like that's the thing about being human. Like you don't have the full picture. And just remembering, even I don't have the full picture. I don't have the full picture, and because I don't have the full picture, I need to remember that like there's a greater purpose for anything that I'm going through, even though I'm feeling so bad and whatever. And even though I want to be negative towards the people who are making me feel like this or whatever, like I just have to remember that I am in charge of my emotions. If you haven't been on my channel for long, I do this book, the Reloving Dating. And Reloving Dating basically is this book that is written by a psychologist, and one of his main messages usually is like, you're in charge of your life. You're the only one who can make decisions for your life. Like no one else can make decisions for you. Even though you feel like someone made you angry, it's your responsibility, like whether you actually do get angry or not. And just that idea of like someone cannot make you angry. Like you have the power to be angry or not be angry. And remembering that like you're in charge of your life, that's something that has been so important to me in February, actually. Just remembering that I'm in charge of my life. And someone asked me, what are you looking forward to? And I said, to love myself in the absolute way. And that's something that I'm actually so serious about. Like there's these things that I sort of like expect someone else to do for me, right? And the thing with expecting other people to do stuff for you is people are always going to disappoint you. And that's not even like to say it in a way for me to be like, oh, I've been disappointed by everyone in my life, blah blah blah. That's not even what I'm saying, honestly speaking. I'm just saying that like people will disappoint you, and the only way for people not to disappoint you is if you do not have expectations for them. And the only way you don't expect stuff from people is if you do stuff for yourself. And it's literally, and I know I make it sound like it's so easy when it's not. And I know it's not easy because I've been in that situation where I want someone to do something for me and they don't do it, and it disappoints me and it makes me sad. And I think for me, that's what has happened a lot in this month, actually. Like majority of the reason why like I'm upset or I'm angry is because I was expecting someone to do something and then they didn't do it, and then it hurt my feelings. And you know that I it's not a good way of living. Like wanting other people to do stuff for you is really not a good way of living. It opens you up to so much heartbreak, honestly speaking. I'm gonna go off camera and do this eyeliner, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm back. I've figured out how I'm gonna do it. Anyway, so yeah, just expecting other people to do stuff for you is really not the way it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to go. Like, just like move on with life. That's how it goes. Like, be your own person, do your own thing. It's going to end up fine. Like it really just is gonna end up fine. And I just remember thinking like this month I want to start like taking myself out, doing things for myself, just doing the most for myself, because I deserve it. Like, let's be honest, I deserve everything. I deserve everything in the whole world. And if no one is going to do that for me, I will do it for myself. No, but I'm joking. I think also it's just easier to love yourself. It's not easier to love yourself. It's better to love yourself so that you can know how to tell people to love you. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody asks you what do you like doing, you can't know what you like doing if you've never done anything for yourself. Like the only way you know is if if you like going out, you would know if you have been taking yourself out, that kind of thing. So that's something that I'm excited to do in 2021 a bit more. I'm excited to not be too strict on myself. I think for so long I used to be like, I have to think about I don't know what, and I have to think about this and that and blah blah blah. And I think I mentioned this before. The one thing that's coming through for me this year is just how young I am and how much more there is to life than all these things that I was putting pressure on myself about. Like there's just so much more to life, and I'm excited to actually live life and stop pressuring myself too much. And I feel like sometimes when someone says, oh, I'm excited to live my life, blah blah blah, then you think it's something extra, like it's something so deep, but it's really not. It's just the simple things, like taking myself out, buying myself like the stuff that I want. Like if I want to buy like a book, instead of me expecting someone else to buy me a book, I just have to learn how to save and buy myself a book, and it feels nice. It actually feels so nice to buy myself all that stuff, because I think just that independence, and even though it's not like my money because I'm not working yet, it's that independence that I'm craving so much. So hopefully this decade is the decade of independence, because this is now I'm in my 20s. I'm excited for that, not in the obvious ways, but of course in the obvious ways as well. But yeah, so that's just something I want to talk about. Okay, now today I went through, and as I said, what has gotten me through is Bible plans. Also last week I listened to this song by Demi Lovato. If you haven't watched the song lyric review, I'm going to leave it in the description box down below, and you can check that out, because I really like that song. What happened was I was feeling really demotivated, demoralized, and I didn't have a video to do. I didn't have a video for that day. What I had planned just didn't seem like something that I wanted to do anymore, and I was just feeling sad. So that day I listened to that song, and somehow my spirits were lifted, and I just became so happy, like just so joyful. Is that the word? Yeah, so joyful. That's what happened. So if you haven't watched that lyric review, I will leave it down in the description and you can check that out. Anyway, another thing that has been getting me through other than music, and I have a few song inspirations coming up for songs that I listened to today, best things in the entire world. But something else that got me through was this Bible planning 1 year that I've mentioned a million times in this video. But today we're basically wrapping up the story of Jesus, and it's not over yet. But today's verse was Matthew 27 verse 45 to 66, and I felt like I had to mention this because this is the point when Jesus is crying out, Eloi Eloi lama sabachthani. I don't know if that's how it's said, but that's the time that he's crying that out, right? And when I was reading it today, I just remember feeling so heartbroken for Jesus, because then after he cries that out, they come, they give him wine, then they're like, oh, he's calling Elijah. Actually, they say he's calling Elijah, then they go, they give him wine, then they say, let's see if he's gonna be saved. And then they walk away, right? And he cries out again, and at that moment, he gave up his spirit. Oh my gosh, my heart was broken reading that. Like, my heart was so broken when I was reading that. I was feeling so sad in that moment. I was so sad. I was just like what's happening? I was really sad. And it's not, and that's why I say, like, I've never read the Bible from cover to cover. I don't think I've ever read this verse even specifically. I don't think I've read the Bible that much, honestly. Let's just be honest right now. But reading it right now, just sort of gives me so much hope. Like, okay, not hope, it's just like, it's nice for me to be in this place where I can even like feel sorrow for Jesus, you know, because that moment where they're like, he gave up his spirit, and then you continue on, and the Pharisees come to Pontius Pilate and they say, you know, he said he was going to resurrect after 3 days, so let's close his tomb so that he doesn't come out after those 3 days, so that his disciples don't take his body or whatever. And it's like these people were so intimidated by Jesus that they felt like they had to put guards and lock down this place, because they didn't want, like, I don't know, it's just that whole idea, like, people don't like being what's the word, being like contested, is that the right word to use? Like, they don't like when somebody's doing something different from what they like to do. Because now, like, seeing that part and reading about how Jesus gave up his spirit, and then seeing how they're like, oh, let's close his tomb so that his disciples don't take his body or whatever, and you're just like, seriously, man, like, really, this is the Lord, like, this was Jesus, you know, this was Jesus, and that's what happened. And going through Matthew has been so eye-opening. I don't think I have ever read the Bible the way I have. Like, usually, even when you go through it in school, I didn't do CRE in high school. I did it in primary school, and when I tell you that just reading that stuff like crushed me, I was just like, wow, my heart. And then you see about the curtain tearing in two, the earth shaking, the rocks split, the tombs broke open and bodies came out. Oh my God. And then this part is in Exodus that I wanted to mention as well. The part when the Israelites are now going and they have crossed the Red Sea, and the Egyptians change their mind because they don't want to let them go, and then they come back for them. And that whole scene, I feel like usually when you're watching a movie about it, or when you're seeing a play or something, whatever it is, honestly, I feel like they do not show it the way it's described in the Bible. And that's another thing, and that's why I really love like reading books. And I think I'm going to do a whole video about why I love reading books, but like, just the description of it made so much sense, and it created a movie in my head that was very different from what I've been seeing portrayed. That was interesting. But a verse that I want to leave you guys with is Exodus chapter 14 verse 14, that says, the Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. I love that verse. I read it today and I'm in love with it, and I'm just gonna leave that with you. I'm gonna go finish my makeup, come back to the intro, and then yeah, see you later. Actually decided I'm gonna just like speed it up. So I'm back. This is the finished look. I'm gonna try and take pictures and maybe post them over here. If I don't, maybe they'll be on my Instagram, maybe not, who knows. I don't like pictures that much, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so that I can know that you like this like activity talking videos, or I could just go back to the normal sit down. I don't mind it, actually. I loved doing this get ready with me, to be honest. I feel like I've always been so self-conscious about it. Like my makeup skills are not that great, blah blah blah, and they really aren't. A lot of the things that I'm doing are just improvising. Sometimes I try something, it looks nice. I'm like, okay, fine, let me do that. Let me just be using that, whatever. So anyway, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below whether you like me doing get ready with me's, or whether you prefer the normal sit down video. I'm gonna do whichever. And yeah, so we'll see. Maybe we'll make this a monthly thing. So when I do my recap, I'll be doing like an activity of sorts. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.